bust. I told that baby go bust, 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 bust.
Talk about. I was watching this podcast with Nick Cannon's got Nick Cannon on it as a guest, and he was talking about the industry. He was talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef, and yeah, so just want to hear his take on it, what he thinks, because you guys know Nick Cannon, he's a legend. He's done a lot, so his input low key matters. Let's hear what he's got to say.
I say Drake and Kendrick they're standing in the same space. One, because they're in the major leagues, and they both are artists, poets who have something substantial to say. I can't say Drake is all about consumerism and Kendrick is all about hip hop, because Kendrick wants to sell just as many records as Drake does. I can't say Kendrick got so much more substance in his music, because the way Kendrick put words together is the same way the songwriting that Drake does. It may be different messages,
or different content. So.
But the phenomenal thing about Drake is he's a shapeshifter. We seen him be an R&B lover boy.
Shang Tsung. If you guys know Shang Tsung, he be shapeshifting.
We see him be rah-rah next to the D-boys. But if we're talking really what this art form is, it's just storytelling. Drake is Shakespeare.
Yeah, but he's never shifted into the shape of like the black man.
That's the one thing that people criticize him about. He's tried, and we didn't accept him when he's doing it. He has those records. Those aren't his big records. There's some of my favorite Drake records are records where he's actually talking some conscious shit, like the heat of the moment. Like he got records, and he can do that. We don't accept that. We're not gonna accept some light skin from Canada talking about,
Exactly. When Drake does different shit, there's always a side to niggas like, nah, we don't want to hear this. We want the old Drake, So it's like, how is he supposed to make different music with different messages when people just want commercial Drake? People just want sicko mode. People just want fucking mob ties type vibe. People just want that Drake. But Drake is so multifaceted that he's got different messages he wants to push. He's got different feelings he wants to push. He's got different,
free slaves. He's definitely made some mistakes. We all have. But to say it's our culture who wouldn't allow him to be pro-black.
I don't think nobody will ever condemn Drake for saying something. Or utilizing this platform.
I think he has. It's just not as loud as he. One, he's not American, so he can't speak to. But I think every time he spoke to the
if he can be a nigga, he can be a black man. And Drake has accepted the fullness of being a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And so,
but not an American.
I mean, his father's an American.
But I think like the struggles that we have,
I guess his dad's American, so I guess he's half American. You would say. Maybe.
He identifies the culture that comes from that struggle.
So what should Drake?
I ain't saying what he should do.
I was just saying, like, what would be if we saw him stand for us loudly? Like, because I think he was a part of the, when the Black Lives Matter movie, all of that. But like, what would you? The money, the power, and the exposure that Drake had.
Yeah. What do you guys want from Drake? It's like that. That whole instance. When there was the Palestine and the Israel war, when it was first heating up and it was starting, and then there was this whole thing that surfaced on the internet that, people like Drake are not speaking on what's happening because obviously he's Jewish, grew up Jewish, and people like Drake are not speaking on what is happening with the Israel people and Palestine people on the war, all of that thing that was on the internet. And my thing was just like, guys, what do you want from Drake, bro? Like, Drake is a musician, he's an artist, he's a performer. Why the fuck you want him to speak on Israel and something so serious and so it's such a deep topic and it requires fucking extensive knowledge of actually what's happening, because a lot of us don't know what the hell is happening in Israel and Palestine. We don't know. We just know the shit that the news feeds us, all the fucking things on Instagram, all these crazy videos that pop up, and we're like, we know, Palestine's getting bombed and all that, but I just don't think like people shouldn't run to celebrities to try and get opinions on these serious matters. You know what I mean? Like, go and read for yourself and go and see the real shit. Like, I mean, imagine going to Drake to tell you what's happening in Israel and to tell you how he feels and all of it. It's like, no, bro. Like, that's not Drake's duty. That's not his position. That's not what he stands for. Yeah, sure, you can have comments here and there, but doesn't mean you should. Just because he's Drake doesn't mean he should have a comment on it. Because maybe, excuse me, maybe he is also not invested in actually what's happening, and maybe he just doesn't. He's not attached to it like that. So you can't just expect people like Drake, even the people expected DJ Khaled to also say something because he's Arabic or what is he? I don't know. So it's just like, guys, leave Drake alone.
What should he?
I think it's about the maturation. right?
Okay.
When you look at Jay-Z, Jay-Z is a representation of maturation of like fact. Drake is like high school, right?
He's the boy.
Right, he's the boy, right?
Right.
And it's more
He's not my eye.
about the maturation because then you can, by example of your own life, right, grow people with you.
Yeah.
But it's a product. I look at him like Apple. I'm just here to sell a product. I'm gonna keep selling that product over and over and over and over and over.
Okay.
I don't have any expectations of Drake whatsoever.
Okay.
Just like I don't have expectations of Future. You know what I'm saying? Or anybody else.
Right.
There's some people that will just want to be, and then some people that will decide to say, well, my platform will be more.
I get what he's saying, but I feel like he hasn't listened to enough Drake songs, if we're being honest. If we keep it in being, dude, Drake is so multifaceted. His music is so layered. There's so many different, I mean, sure, the last few albums, you know, majority of it, you can say was pushed to a commercial side to sell records and stuff like that. But there's still a lot of tracks on, like, let's talk about For All the Dogs. There's a lot of tracks like 8 AM in Charlatan, what's the other one? Wait, I mean, he's really rapping and he's talking about his experience. What's that other one, man? Give a fuck if they remember. Far Away From Home. Is it Far Away From Home? Yeah. There he's literally talking about his career journey. He's coming about, his fallout. I wasn't really gangster like that. You know, he's talking about his insecurity. We was in love with the same girl. He's talking about, like, bro, come on, you know. He's talking about, I was quiet as a mouse. I couldn't even do, like, you know, he's talking about him as a coming up artist and how he was as a person and how he, you know, sometimes you would feel so, like, he's talking about his humility and he's really expressing, you know, and like, that song for me, like Far Away From Home, is like one of his most like vulnerable, honest songs because it's like he's really telling people that, hey man, I didn't always have this confidence. I didn't always have this ego. I didn't always have this, you know, bravado type guy. I literally built myself this way. I used to be a peepsqueak. I used to be pushed around. I used to be, you know, afraid to approach girls and stuff like that. My music wasn't getting played. Niggas didn't accept me like that. You know, people used to clown him, you know, like light skin, and you know. So now that he's this big phenomenon and niggas fucking respect him, you know, and it doesn't matter who you are in the industry, everybody respects Drake because they know that the shit the boy can do, you know. Yeah, there's the rumors, ghost riders, all of that is just internet shit. But if we're going to the music, if we're going to the catalog, if we're going to what the bro is producing, nobody can talk down on Driz, man.
Meaningful.
Right.
Black man.
Okay.
Understanding the difference between a black man is a direct correlated thing to the problem is that we don't have a balance in culture. Right, and we act like these things can't sell, right? But the big three is fill the people who Cole and Kendrick.
Right.
You know what I mean? So how does it not sell if we're not arguing that these are arguably the best ever?
Right.
The best ever, at least for this generation.
Yeah, this generation.
Right? Because then you got Kanye. Kanye wasn't I'm killing and murdering them. The people that we argue are being the best are the people that have the most messages.
Right.
So you can't tell me that we won't accept message. We'll accept that. Look, when Lil Baby had a message, we accepted that and we loved it.
Yeah, but if he would have started that way, we wouldn't have came.
Right.
Like I said, Drake is an anomaly, and I think like you said, to your point,
He just represents an archetype of culture.
Yeah, culture and, like you said, ethnicity. He is a Canadian, so therefore he probably doesn't even understand. So he didn't go to school down here. He don't know. You know what I mean?
Like,
He
was in H-Town.
But if
he know the lean, pimping, drinking,
no, that's what he was exposed to. Like, I'm talking about the stuff that we was just talking about, the stuff that we would, like, the way we grew up and saw how we were programmed and we saw how our men were treated in our neighborhoods. Like, he didn't really see that. You know?
No,
so therefore,
he's
it would
matrilineal
be,
Jewish, so he grew up in
it'd be
school.
false for him to talk about the struggle. Even when he started from the bottom, now we here. We're like, all right.
But if you a black man that have been throughout America and you cannot relate, right, and have an understanding, right, about the different dynamics of America, what does that make you? Wholly ignorant. So to say that you are in,
I think for I don't know. It feels like this guy. I don't know. He has this rhetoric, or he has this sort of. He's giving off this vibe that he thinks America is the only country in the world that fucking exists, that fucking goes through adversaries, that fucking goes through racism, that goes through all these things. I mean, Drake grew up in Canada, Toronto. Toronto also is filled with, like, Toronto it's a mixing pot place. There's a lot of immigrants there. There's a lot of brutality. There's a lot of violence there. You know, Toronto is like low-key similar to London, how London is also the London trenches and the London slums, the ends. It's also like immigrant filled, a lot of violence, a lot of poverty. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, America, yes, it's very rife there in America. And because it's so big, we think that it's the only country that gets affected. But a lot of other countries here back home in South Africa, nigga, we go through, you know, racism, we go through poverty, we go through police brutality as well. It's not just, so it's not now that if a nigga is rapping about these things. Now you want to say that, oh, but you didn't grow up in America, you haven't experienced. It's like, bro, he grew up in his own kind of, you know, adversaries, just like how a South African would rap about their own kind of adversaries. You know, you don't have to be from America to rap about slavery, to rap about racism, to rap about police brutality, to rap about fucking all these things, because a lot of countries also experience these things. Yes, it's rife in America and it's huge and it's all of that because niggas just can't control themselves like that. But other countries also be experiencing this shit, you know?
Capable of it, right? Because Michael Jackson and everybody else.
I didn't say he was incapable, because I think he's a brilliant brother, and I think we won't accept him as that because of what we know of him.
I mean, we accepted him almost as a gangster. Shit, Drake be talking about. We have almost accepted.
Nobody thinks Drake is a gangster, man. Come on, please don't be on the internet too much. Like, nobody, I don't think anybody believes that Drake is a gangster. Let's be honest, man. Let's really be honest. That's why with when this whole thing of the XXXTentacion murder came out, and people were like, "Yeah, Drake is the one." It's like, bro, you're not even using your noggin, bruv. You're not even using your noggin. How can this Drake, this big superstar, fucking put out a hit on an up and coming, like, yeah, XXXTentacion was popping his butt, but it was nowhere Drake's level. You know what I mean? Like, you wanted attention from Drake actually at the time when they were actually beefing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you really think this big superstar is gonna sing Goonies to kill him? Like, kill him? Like, bro, come on. Come on. Makes no sense, bro.
Every variation of Drake. We've accepted the Caribbean Drake.
Yeah,
we've accepted Canadian. We've accepted American. We've accepted white. We've accepted every version of Drake.
But the things that Kendrick
Drake is
stands
the
on,
bestseller in hip hop history of any form that he wants to sell us.
all I'm saying is Kendrick, the things Kendrick stands on, we wouldn't accept that from.
Oh no. We wouldn't,
because he doesn't have that experience.
Yeah.
And so therefore we allow Drake to be what Drake is, a talented and gifted storyteller. He makes and writes great music. Now, there's an activist in Kendrick Lamar. Like the same, there was
it's make believe. Come on. He's just acting like an activist. Come on, man. If the shit comes out, if it's true that a nigga beats his wife, what kind of activist is he? You know? Not saying it's true. Allegedly, that's what that's what Drake said. But I don't think Drake would go on a record and make such a really wild allegation like that if he didn't actually have solid. Even we may not have solid evidence. We may not know the truth. But I don't think someone like Drizzy would go on a record and say another man beats his wife when he knows that he doesn't have any evidence, not true, anything like that. There's no ways, you know? So I'm not saying I believe it's true. I'm just saying that there is definitely now a sort of a chip on Kendrick. Because if it's true that the nigga donders his wife, then what kind of activist is he?
Activists in Tupac. There's activists in certain artists that you just have to, you admire their art, but you admire the person that I don't think we admire Drake the person. We admire Drake the businessman. We admire Drake the artist. Right. We admire Kendrick the person, and that's even in a battle when we saw like Drake was attacked in
Kendrick than we do,
and that's
Drake.
That's great.
It's the spirit of Kendrick that I think we admire, as if, you know, that when you get a platform,
what he represents.
Yeah, we want you to speak some semblance of truth and honesty, right, and be real. Like, what do you actually think and feel? Yeah. As an artist, what is the best thing to get from an artist besides what's on their spirit, what's on their mind?
Facts.
So the thing is that I'm never say, oh, I wanted this record from him and this record from him. It's just that's going to always be your exposed weak point when you say you're the king of this culture. Yeah. This American culture is bred out of knowledge and expressing right what goes on in our world. So you can't be the king of it. If every other king, every other person that we look at is great, they all have those moments or records or a part of themselves that represent that side. Yeah. Right, from Pac to Nip, right, to Kendrick, right, even Eminem.
Right.
Yep. No disrespect.
No, I love him.
No, why you niggas hate on him? Anyway, yeah. All right, cool. No, I get what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. I understand the debate, the conversation, but yeah. I think I said my piece. But yeah, you guys will definitely go finish the rest of it. Damn, I didn't even introduce it. I'm rude like that, man. So it's by Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. And yeah, it's episode 9. No, not episode 9. It's an episode with Nick Cannon. So you guys go watch it. They talk about a lot more other stuff, industry stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. So shout out. All right, cool.
Bus, 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 bus.